I've started a series on goalies of the future. What better place to start than with the career of Kevin Weeks? And you'll notice a lot of logos on the board because he played in a lot of cities. He really did. He was around the league for a lot of teams, and the funny thing is, this goalie of the future jinx that I've seen, it. I think the first example of it, for me personally, was Mike Fountain. And most people, 99% of people, won't remember who he was. There's going to be some Canuck fans going, "Oh, Mike Fountain." He was dubbed as the successor to Kirk McLean. Same size, same playing style, a lot of potential. This kid's going to be great. And then it didn't work out. Now, in the case of Kevin Weeks, he came along to Vancouver at a time when there was a lot of turmoil in net, for lack of a better term. And he was kind of a guy that I ended up feeling really bad for. I did. I felt really bad for Kevin Weeks. And it was kind of a joke for my friend Kimber and I at work that, Kevin Weeks, goalie of the future. Because we worked together for about 7 years, and in the time we worked together, it seemed like he was getting traded a lot, moved a lot. And every time he got moved, we were like, he's their goalie of the future. And it all stemmed from something said by Brian Burke. He's the number 41 pick in 1993. And he had a solid career. Not, he was never fantastic. He was never a Vezina winner. He had a nice run in the playoffs one year with Carolina. That was in 2002. He was a part of that run that team went on. And then after that, it just kind of, I don't know. Anyways, in 1993, he's drafted. He doesn't make his NHL debut until 97-98. He plays for the Florida Panthers. He's 0-5-1 with a 3.96 goals against, 870 save percentage. All right. The following season, he ends up back in the American League. Now, this is at a time when Pavel Bure is at an impasse with Vancouver, which means he's never going to play for the Canucks again. So the Canucks are trying to get the most they can. And Mike Keenan has kept on and asked about this trade. And Burke goes to the trade, and Keenan goes, "Yeah, that sounds good." And he goes, "All right, cool, I'll make the trade, and by the way, you're fired." That's not exactly the way it worked, but that's kind of in time how that worked. January 7th, 1999, he's traded to Vancouver with Mike Brown, tough guy, Dave Gagne, insisted Gagne be a part of the deal, and Ed Jovanovski, as well as a first-round draft pick. Jovanovski became the steal of that trade. For Pavel Bure, Brad Ferentz, Brett Hedican, and a third-round pick. And if I just put up a pick and I don't put up their name, it doesn't really matter. It was Nathan Smith for the Canucks. He never really became an NHL player. But as soon as he gets to Vancouver, there's a lot of pressure. And then the worst thing for Kevin Weeks is he comes in 0-5-1 from Florida, and down the stretch for Vancouver, he ends up going 0-8-1 with a 3.83 goals against, 868 save percentage. He did not look ready. When Brian Burke was asked about Kevin Weeks, he said, "This is our goalie of the future. We have faith in Kevin Weeks. We believe in Kevin Weeks." He talked a lot about how they really wanted this player. They really believed in this player. This player was going to be a part of the Canucks organization for some time to come. The following season, 99-2000, and we all asked ourselves, can Kevin Weeks get a win this year? Because his total career to that point, 0-13-2. Not great. Not his fault, per se. Going from Florida to a Vancouver Canucks team that's got Mark Messier on it and is in complete and total disaster mode, I don't blame him for the record. Remember, 99, that's the summer they drafted the Sedins, so they were right down at the bottom of the league at this point, or close to it. 99-2000, he ends up putting up 6 wins, 7 losses, 4 ties, 2.86 goals against average, and an 898 save percentage. And he actually was playing relatively well. And, at the time we thought, hey, maybe Weeks is going to work out. Maybe this is going to be, the guy, maybe Burke was right. Give him a few more years. What happens? Burke says, ADD kicked in again. And December 19th of 1999, so less than a year in the Vancouver organization. And the goalie of the future is now in New York for the Islanders. He was traded to the Islanders with Dave Scatchard and Bill McCult for Felix Potvin. Should be an L. Let me just grab my red marker. I hurriedly scrolled this up here, waiting on whether or not Giordano's going to get suspended, and I figured I might as well throw this up here while we're waiting. Felix Potvin, a second and a third. So, good trade for the Canucks for a while. Felix Potvin was their savior, and this was what happened with Vancouver, right? Goalie after goalie after goalie. This is the savior. No, wait, now we'll go to Kluche. Anyways, so Kevin Weeks ends up in New York playing with the Islanders, and the Islanders aren't a great team either. 99-2000, he gets 10 wins, 20 losses, 4 ties. That's right, they actually let him play a good share of games. 3.41 goals against, 902 save percentage. All right, Kevin Weeks, goalie of the future, maybe goalie of the present for the New York Islanders. That summer, barely after the Stanley Cup's been handed off, the Islanders say, you know what? We're going to pass. June 24th, 2000, he is traded to the Tampa Bay Lightning with a second-round pick. Christian Kudrok's rights as well. And going the other way, a first-round draft pick, which was Rafi Torres, and a fourth and a seventh. So Tampa Bay decided that the number 5 draft pick was worth picking up, a second-round pick, Kudrok's rights, and Kevin Weeks. Not bad. Now, I will say this for Tampa. Tampa gave Kevin Weeks the net, and they said, all right, you're the guy this year. And, of course, ironically, Kluche was going to end up going to Vancouver from Tampa. And Kluche had been with the Rangers. That's right. This is kind of a 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon thing we got going on here. 2000-2001, he gets 20 wins, 33 losses, 3 ties, 3.14 goals against, 898 save percentage. Again, he's okay. He's not a great goaltender. He's not putting up fantastic stats, but he's an NHL level goaltender. The question at this point is already becoming, but is he a starter or is he a backup? And in 01-02, he didn't play a ton. 5 wins, 9 losses, 2.89 goals against, 915 save percentage. So seeing that he's not playing very much, Tampa, right, they trade him. March 5th, 2002, he's traded to Carolina for Chris Dingman and Shane Willis. And so Dingman and Willis go to Tampa. He goes to Carolina. He plays 2 games. He gets 2 wins, 1.5 goals against, 927 save percentage. That spring, he plays 8 playoff games and plays well. I'm not kidding. I'm not trying to make a joke here. I'm honestly in this video not trying to make a joke out of any of this. This is a guy who it just felt like lost patience. Nope. It just felt like that with him. And again, in a period of 3 years, he's gone through 5 different organizations. So 2002-2003, after that strong playoff, he's given a chance to be the starter here. 14 wins, 24 losses, 9 ties, 2.55 goals against, 912 save percentage. Decent numbers. Again, he's playing in Carolina, not a great team. They didn't make the playoffs that year. 03-04, he sets a career high in wins, 23, 30 losses, 11 overtime losses or ties, 2.33 goals against average, and a 912 save percentage. So his save percentage stays decent. And then, of course, 2004, we know what happens there, right? There's no hockey in 04-05. So what happens coming out of the lockout? Out after that lost season, he's a free agent. So as a free agent, he signs with the New York Rangers. The New York Rangers pick up Kevin Weeks. He is now on organization number 6. And that's... And again, I'm still working with the same people, and it's still a goalie of the future. Because in 6 years, he's been with 6 teams. With the Rangers, 14 wins, 14 losses, 3 overtime losses, 2.95 goals against, 895 save percentage. By the standards that we're in for goals against, save percentage, he is a bit below league average. He is. And that's kind of what happens with him. He's in this area, and we see goalies like this now too. You know the guy. He may go 3 or 4 games where he's a pretty decent starter, and then he has a couple of off games. And those off games cause his stats to kind of take a tumble. So you see those glimpses. And with Weeks, you always kind of saw those glimpses, and then there'd be that tumble. 2006-2007, he won 4, lost 6, lost 2 in overtime. 3.39 goals against, 879 save percentage. Now with Henrik Lundqvist, they don't really need Weeks' veteran presence anymore. Because, see, this is what happens. A goalie that starts out as goalie of the future here becomes a veteran backup here. He signed as a free agent by the New Jersey Devils in 2007. And the comment that I remember anytime somebody signed with the Devils as the backup was. Pretty good gig if you can find it. You get paid $1 million to watch Marty Brodeur play every night. And Weeks, considering he barely got to play, when he did get in there, his numbers aren't awful. He had a 2-2-1 record, 2.97 goals against, 894 save percentage in 2007-2008, his first year there. 2008-2009 is significant. It is the only year he had a record with more wins than losses. That's it. 7 wins, 5 losses, 2.42 goals against, 920 save percentage. So not only in his last year does he record more wins than losses, which was the only time that happened, he also put up his best save percentage. So he saved the best for last. And then he was out of the game at that point. He retired with totals of 107 wins, 163 losses, and 39 ties or overtime losses. 2.88 goals against average and a 903 save percentage. Weeks is the reason why when people talk about, hey, I'm looking forward to this goalie's going to be great. Okay. But until I see him at the NHL level, until I see him going night after night after night as a starter, and that he can keep that up for months on end, I reserve judgment. I'm going to wait before I crown a guy as a long-term starter. There were points during Weeks' career where he was the starter. 2000, 2001 in Tampa, definitely both in 02-03 and 03-04 with Carolina, and 99-2000 after he hit the New York Islanders, they gave him a nice long run and then decided we're going to trade him out to Tampa. And Tampa saw something in his game that made them say, we'll give up the first-round draft pick for him. And it was not a great draft, let's be honest. The 2000 draft was not viewed as full of generational talent or franchise players. It was viewed as an iffy draft. And yet, it's still significant when you trade your number 5 overall draft pick, and Tampa did that. So this is where the goalie of the future comment really started to bloom for me. And over the years, I've noticed some organizations, they dub, this is the guy, he's going to be the guy. And then 3 years later, you go, what happened? And I also mentioned Justin Pogge of Toronto and his, not breaking through. But I will definitely, when I do this series, and I will also put this in the playlist for Journeyman as well, because to me, Kevin Weeks was a Journeyman player. But again, we really love to peg down, okay, this is going to be the starting goalie, this is going to be a backup, and yet goaltending is the most unpredictable position, I would argue, in pretty much all of sports, minus pitching, I guess. Pitching in baseball's really... You can have a guy who's just absolute crap as a starter, and then he becomes an ace as a closer. I can't pitch worth a damn. Yes, he can if he only has to pitch one inning. Oh, I see what you did there. Very nice. So yeah, it's a very unpredictable position, and I respect anybody who takes a shot at it. So for Weeks, he had a nice solid career as a journeyman, and there's no shame in that. And that's why when he talks on the NHL Network, I listen to him, because he's been through a number of organizations. He knows how it feels to be traded, left as a free agent, playing as the backup, playing as the starter, playing in non-hockey areas and hockey areas. He's kind of got experience with all of it. Mostly East Coast, though. If you look at his career outside of Vancouver, they're all Eastern teams. But there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. If you're browsing your way through, you just happened upon this video. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.